The topic of this bad boy is going to be entrepreneurs who shaped me, as I try not to get hit by a damn car. Entrepreneurs who shaped me. All right. So I've been surrounded, as I thought about, before I got into this video, I've been surrounded by really good, I wouldn't say good, by entrepreneurs my whole life. And I think we all are, like we've all been working and yada, 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 but even from birth. So entrepreneurs who shaped me, let's get into it. Both my mom and dad are entrepreneurs, okay? Dad founded and has owned and operated a painting business for the past 27 years. So just massive testament to his fortitude and integrity, really the grace and faithfulness of the Lord. And then mom also, she co-owned and operated a Christian bookstore for years, had her own ministries, and now both mom and dad are pastors, as well as dad's a painter. So growing up in that, if you want to check out more about kind of how the impact that dad's life had on me, check out the Father's Day episode on YouTube. But just a little bit more. So growing up with mom and dad as those entrepreneurs had a massive impact. I went and had some random jobs and went and did hardwood flooring. His name was Réal Comp, French boy up in Canada. And that boy was a workhorse. And he was a craftsman. He cared deeply about what he did, and he did it really well. And the volume of work that we would go from place to place to place, and seeing him just rock and roll. He was also different from my dad, where my dad was, very like nitpicky and on it. Not to say that dad didn't lead by example, but Réal really did lead by example. And it was a wonderful environment for me to learn and grow in. From there, I guess I'd fast forward to the Doddles days. Craig Dorio was a very successful entrepreneur in the tech world, had exited his previous company for millions and millions of dollars. And from there, just my kind of first dive into tech life, wow. Craig worked more hours on more context switching, on so many different things than I had ever experienced in my entire life. And with him, it wasn't necessarily like attention to detail. It was getting it done, moving the buck forward, throwing himself into everything that needed to be done just to keep inching the business along, right? And with tech startups, that's kind of how it goes, and building team and being able to move quickly. That one really changed my trajectory on my life and how I work, and still carry those values today in terms of just throwing yourself into things, get it up and running, and not wasting time. After the Doddles life came the agency life. But before that, at Custom Offsets, got a deep dive into Hoshin Conry and Six Sigma. Sean Chartier was one of the co-founders of Enthusiast Enterprises. And at EE, I learned how to speak a different language in business. Things like, understanding what waste meant, and efficiencies, and waterfall systems. And it was kind of like the architecture to business. If at Doddles I learned how to just work like a madman, EE was like how to put it all on paper and see this beautiful symphony. It was like a beautiful mind moments during that time. Helped me articulate all the things that I was doing, set goals, measure, understand data. That was a huge, especially as I entered into e-commerce and D2C, to be able to present, understand, learn, and grow in that new framework changed my life. And then last I would say would be Mr. Bozen. David taught me such a valuable lesson about people, how to lead people well, how to grow, how to do things first yourself and then ask of others, how to show up for other people in a way that was very intentional, very personal, how to be a leader of an organization, how to manage people, how to be in it with them for the long term. And that, especially on the people side with agency, we know that agencies are so people heavy, made a lasting impact on how I manage and lead my own team. The last one, and cheesy or not, it is what it is. I guess the entrepreneur that I look up to next is the one I'm trying to become myself. You know, who is that Zeb? What does he look like? How does he act? And as I kind of focus on that, as now I'm in the driver's seat essentially, you know, who is the Zeb that I want to become, and how am I becoming him? Right? Am I fostering and sowing into areas that I know need development to become the person who I know I need to? So that was a quick one. Maybe we'll spin this into a longer one. Maybe get some interviews on the table for some of these entrepreneurs. But I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.